It's just kind of a fun one. I've scribbled all over it, so we'll see if I can manage it in sequence. In the middle of my day, she posed a question. A friend from out of town. What would I do if I had the entire day to myself? Just me. The possibilities are as endless as the leaves cascading from these noble trees. She gave me her answer. She said her day was busy, the same way that every day is that seems to dawn lately. She said, I just wanted to stop right then and write a poem. But that's just not an option right now. After all, real life demands our attention. Or does it? I was happily unemployed at that time. I stopped everything that I was doing and started this poem. I didn't finish it within the first 24 hours, mind you, but it was enough that the seeds were germinating, growing away from old into these hands so I could extend them to all of you. Sip from this if you wish. Take home a piece of me if you so desire. Like Thich Nhat Hanh counseled his disciples, I take on the garbage of my immediate surroundings and transform it. I cultivate a flower within myself for the betterment of those closest to me. Here, take home this petaled beauty. Upending the silver platter of what is possible, sending our steady diet of disappointment clattering to the floor, getting waitresses fired for our passionate outbursts. What would I do with 24 hours of my choosing? I would start with a path. Selecting the direction that seems most neglected, finding the refreshment of breath in endless forests, approach the base of formidable peaks, dive headlong into rushing waters, careen through canyons and caverns. I would lift off the ground with Icarus wings, flying high from Persephone's playground until my sins melted away like waxen wings, approaching starry-eyed the purifying heat of a celestial furnace. I would dream, perchance to see the future. I would awake in cold sweat at the newest nightmare to befall me. I would return to my day job with a renewed sense of the importance of every moment, the impact of simple gestures, and the mysteriousness of being alive. If I moved at the speed of light, traversing endless distance instantaneously while keeping a close eye on the silver pocket watch in my right hand simultaneously, how far could I go in 24 hours? I'd take infinity in a stride in an instant. But stopping short of warp speed, I'm not really that interested in time travel because I don't want to relive the past. I want to discover the future in the dust like an inverse archaeologist. As far as 24 hours goes, I believe it would be worthwhile to spend a considerable chunk of that time staring your loved ones right in their eyeballs. That prolific fountain of holiness, that indisputable beauty. Because I have often accepted your soothing waters without offering any in return, the rain that I have been happy to take without precipitating. And now I want to give something back to your parched lips and tired mind. I want to encourage you, remind you of your abilities, your worthiness, wrap it up and put a bow on them and tell you that your presence is a gift to me. I want to spend 1 hour apiece in the pursuit of peace, in a 4-hour pilgrimage to each wind anchored at the points of the compass. Wade in the shallows of the Euphrates. Carve my name on the tree of life, complete with an I was here, spelled with a Z. I would bow 5 times toward Mecca, letting the call of Adhan mingle with the bird song and clamor of steel drum handpans and compliments and the far-off murmuring of parliament. Dreaming isn't hopeless, but we can't always be wishing things weren't the way they are, wondering why and waiting for wisdom to wind its way down window panes like water on a warmer day in winter. We take the snow days as they come. What is the cost of this life and its impeccable regularity? In the middle of my day, she posed a question. And these days, crash landings are my specialty. I've been catapulting like clockwork since a certain significant stranger cut her losses. I don't know how many times I think back to that in the span of 24 hours, because since then I've been learning not to keep count. My fingers are too busy with my pen, my keyboard, with guitar strings and poker chips and timepieces, peace signs and pizza slices and a microphone. Too busy ripping stars from the night so that I can keep fire and magic in my pockets. Memories scattered like stray buttons in the corners of the house. So while I've already taken up 6 minutes of your time so far, if you'd agree, I'd love to have the other 4 minutes and 23 hours. Perform with me. Daredevil stunts with digital alarm clocks, forever young. Just enough daylight left to brew our analog alchemy to perfection. Sipping on this concoction, letting the sweetness of the moment melt like chocolate confection, as dark and pure as a confession. Making castles from the sands of time, singing our worthiness to the sky, and plastering canvases with our everything, one for every 24/7, carving out our little patch of heaven. Cheers. To 21 years, to sweat on our brows, to dance parties and swan dives, constructive criticism and canoe trips and taste buds and other glorious things. Special thanks to Raymond for some of that lovely, lovely ambience. Okay, I've got one more for you. Can you hear me out there? Yeah? It was written to a song by a friend of mine, also called Water Through the Veins. Awesome band from Kelowna. They're called Joyful Door. So if you get a chance, check them out. There's actually a YouTube of us performing together, a video of us. So the sample, the vocal part is sampled from his song, and it goes, You are the flood waters you give to your sons and daughters. We are the offspring of legends, orphans in the forest, in a conversation with our Creator, calling out, clinging to promises, like sturdy moss in low precipitation biomes, like algal blooms. Do we resemble the owls, perched in the carnivorous, condors nesting midway on redwoods? Do we resemble the amphibious creatures, toads nestled in wet earth, snakes hidden in grass, green against the green, eagles sharpening their vision with the hunt? Here I am, naked to the waist at the edge of the lake in the wake of my words and waking up to the more dangerous aspects of faith. We grow. You are clean lakes, the water through the veins, percolating, seedlings, whispers collecting, promises freshly collected. We are the fresh wounds on the knees of a city, perspectives twisted up in some alleyway, beaten up by history, aching for water to wash the coarseness, clean water to wash grit and grime from the flesh where it has been ground into, mixing with the blood that trickles down our calves. Some of these shards have become embedded in the broken skin and need to be plucked out with force. Water over wounds. There's so much politeness between all of us, but what I truly desire is to discover your deep end, past the awkwardness and surface tension. Because every single time we stand face to face, our spirits reaching for a purpose that our useless words are mocking, I want to just look into your eyes and let the water do the talking. You are clean lakes, evaporate, come down. You are everything, the water through the veins. Scars, remnants of the stories that we store up, the ripples that affect us, the contents of our veins are not in vain. Relationship with our Father, because when we are truly known, then trust can blossom and walls begin to crumble and topple. And instead of hobbling towards the apocalypse, we can remodel our basement apartments and let God ignite us in whatever fashion He sees fit, and in whatever capacity we allow ourselves to be lit. With kerosene cologne and contact lenses made of matchsticks. We may be in the business of burning bridges, but that's only a problem if you haven't learned to love the rivers. Things are not what they appear, and we are in great need of being swept off our feet by a strong tide and then some. You are clean lakes, the water through the veins, evaporate, come down. You are the gift of sustenance to our souls. You are harmony in a world of dissonance. You are dissonance in our narrow-minded understanding of harmony. Enliven our dry bones, our dry bones, our dry bones. Honeyed forgiveness spilling over the top of mega dams constructed in our heart valleys. You are living water running from underneath the door of a closet we keep closely guarded. Newspapers piled to the ceiling and shrines built to our deepest fears and feelings. Empty me like lamb's blood from my body and replenish with water that comes alive, leaching upwards through fingertips and tear ducts and bruised heels, coursing through arteries and corridors, melting from the mountaintops at the ignition of springtime, rushing and filling spaces left empty by what seemed like endless icy citadels and loneliness and lack. You are the floodwaters, and you do not hold back. Wow, thanks so much, guys. We've had so much great music and poetry on the stage today. Vendors, fantastic food. But I think Raymond is going to say some last thing before we end.
Yeah, I was going to say something. Thanks, Nigel. Just thanks, everybody, for coming out. This kind of wraps up the performance stage of the evening. So you can check out, grab another fish taco, grab some popcorn or cinnamon buns or some hot drinks. I don't know, whatever's inside left. Yeah. Nigel, what did you call Robert Chapman's Czech mix? Is that what you called it?
Yeah, Chapman's Czech mix.
Chapman's Czech mix. Go for that. He'll really sell you on it. Robert will. And thanks so much for being a part of our day.